Your Excellency Veiko Ngwete, the High Commissioner of Namibia, receive herewith our message of condolence and solidarity on the passing of Namibia's Head of State, Your Excellency President Geingob. Our hearts are in particular with Mrs. Geingob and the children. Our hearts, ladies and gentlemen, are equally with the founding president of SWAPO and the father of Namibian democracy, President Shafashuna Njomo. President Ramaphosa has been unequivocal that the South African people are filled with appreciation and sadness at the passing of a comrade in struggle and a close partner in our democratic dispensation. The President further underpinned that President Geingob was a towering veteran of Namibia's liberation struggle from colonialism and apartheid. He was also greatly influential in solidarity that the people of Namibia extended to the people of South Africa so that we could be free today. Today, Your Excellencies, mark the end of an extraordinary journey and glorious years of loyalty to SWAPO as a freedom fighter and a dedicated and humble servant of the people of Namibia. President Geingob was a fountain of wisdom, a pillar of strength and a beacon of hope to all those fighting for a just and equitable world order. The independence of Namibia is meaningless if South Africa remains under apartheid rule. These words spoken by the father of the Namibian people and the first democratic president, President Shafashuna Njomo, fortified how Namibia viewed the interconnectedness of our common people struggle. Under the OAU's Liberation Committee, which was based in Dar es Salaam, the legendary Liberation Center in Lusaka hosted liberation movements such as SWAPO, MPLA, ZANU, ZAPU, Frelimo, the PAC and the ANC, which had its headquarters there for more than 50 years. Much of the first 30 years of NAM's existence during the period of the Cold War, no part of what was then called the Third World featured larger or on the NAM agenda than the plight of the Southern African people. This, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, was because of the continuation of colonial rule and the system of formalized racial oppression known as apartheid, which was applied in both South Africa itself and in the country of Namibia it occupied. The NAM gave strong support to the main Namibian liberation movement, the Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, and gave it full membership in 1978. South Africa's African National Congress thereafter gained observer status, and the NAM routinely condemned apartheid and called for international action against it. The leaders of both the ANC and SWAPO, Oliver Tambo and President Shafashuna Njomo, attended the 1961 inaugural meeting of the NAM in Belgrade, Yugoslavia. President Geingob was an ardent and militant African nationalist, but equally so, he was a persuasive Pan-Africanist. He was fully conscious about the fact that individuals make history, but they do not do so in circumstances of their own choosing. They do it, ladies and gentlemen, in circumstances given and transmitted from the past. He grew up in colonial circumstances wherein Namibia was a German colony until the end of the First World War. And after the defeat of Germany in the First World War, the territory was given to South Africa as a League of Nations mandate. The UN thereafter replaced the League of Nations after the end of the Second World War and introduced a trustee system to bring all former German colonies in Africa under the United Nations. The OAU recognized SWAPO as the official representative of Namibia in 1965, and SWAPO was recognized by the UN as the only and official representative of the Namibian people through Resolution 3111 in the year 1978. This, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, inspired President Geingob to deepen himself in the decolonial struggle and anchor his commitment towards work in the frontline states. And this he did through his work in the global governance institution, particularly the United Nations Secretariat. In his capacity as SADC organ chairperson, he worked closely with President Ramaphosa as the incoming chair of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation. And President Geingob took over the chairperson from President Ramaphosa of the organ in August 2022. He aptly led the region's agenda of the organ, which focused, amongst others, ladies and gentlemen, the implementation of the constitutional reform processes in the Kingdom of Lesotho, the security situation in the Kingdom of Eswatini, the security situation in Cabo Delgado in the northern part of Mozambique, and the initiation of the SADC mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. During his chairship of the SADC organ, he successfully deployed the SADC electoral observer missions to the Republic of Angola in August 2022 and the Kingdom of Lesotho in October 2022. He, ladies and gentlemen, was a substantive African leader. Geologically, Africa is contiguous to the Euro-Eurasian landmass, extending from western Euro-Atlantic to the East Asia Pacific. Africa encompasses the Indian Ocean rim that links it to the Middle East, South Asia, and Southeast Asia. Africa's configuration, ladies and gentlemen, in this manner makes it important for the geostrategic implications in relation to the continent's relationship with the rest of the world. And therefore, as we continue to pivot change through the African Renaissance and Agenda 2063, the Africa we want of the African Union, we must do so, ladies and gentlemen, in unified honor of President Geingob, the great proponent of Africa's inclusive prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, it came as no surprise when the very first head of state and of government who publicly supported the ICJ application of the South African government on the plight of the Palestine people was through the Namibian head of state, President Geingob. He was principally a leader of solidarity and steadfast, ladies and gentlemen, on global solidarity and on self-determination. He, ladies and gentlemen, was tasked with the daunting task of drafting Namibia's democratic constitution, and he diligently delivered it with excellence. Dr. Geingob, President, Your Excellency of the Republic of Namibia, your life was the personification of solidarity, the quest for self-determination, and an unyielding commitment to the liberation of your people. Our greatest salutation goes to the people of Namibia for having produced such an illustrious son of Africa. Your Excellency, President Dr. Geingob, please convey our fraternal greetings to Oliver Tambo, Kenneth Kaunda, Julius Nyerere, Kamal Nassar, Kwame Nkrumah, and Adimba Tovo Yatovo. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.